Sheriff's Office. Thank you guys for coming today. This is in reference to a missing person, missing infant child. The child was last known to be alive this past Sunday. The baby is approximately 2 weeks old, born January 10th, 2019. We have confirmed today that the baby was allegedly given an alias of Lee Ann Morrison. The baby was born to a female named April Morrison. April Morrison is allegedly from New Jersey. She is a Hispanic female. We do have reasonable suspicion that that name is not accurate, that that was an alias that she provided. April Morrison is believed to be involved in a transient lifestyle, frequenting motels, hotels, and long-term vacancy type situations. We do believe that the child was last seen alive in our jurisdiction in Laurinburg, North Carolina, subsequently being taken to Rockingham, North Carolina, where the child was believed to be transported by 2 unknown males to the area of Cumberland County, North Carolina. The child is believed to be in danger, and the child is believed to be in an imminent risk for safety purposes. We're asking all members of the general public to be on the lookout and to be vigilant. Any persons that work in hotels, motels, long-term vacancies, places where individuals that do not necessarily have an address, homeless shelters, domestic violence shelters, hospitals, any person who can recall a Hispanic female. She speaks both English and Spanish fluently, and having given birth to a child approximately January 10th. The female is known to have dark hair, possibly dark black hair with brown eyes, and she speaks with a possible New York or New Jersey accent. She does speak English fluently once again. This female supposedly is also at a risk of danger and of her life, and we are concerned for her safety at this time, and her whereabouts are unknown. We know for a fact that the mother and the child have been separated, and we're seeking all members of the general public to be vigilant. Currently, we're working with witnesses and a sketch artist to produce a sketch of what mom actually looks like, and we're hoping to be able to have that available to the general public no later than 6 to 7 p.m. this day. So.
You said last seen in Laurinburg, taken to where?
Rockingham, North Carolina.
Taken to Rockingham, and then you said taken to Cumberland County by 2 unknown men?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is there an Amber Alert that's going to be issued?
It is. The Amber Alert is underway now. The National Center of Missing and Exploited Children has reached out to me. They've received my report. The Federal Bureau of Investigation is also providing assistance. We've also requested the assistance of the North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation, Cumberland County Sheriff's Office, Fayetteville Police Department, as well as Richmond County Sheriff's Office, and Rockingham Police Department is also providing assistance as we speak.
Why do you believe she's in danger? Can you just elaborate on that a little bit? You said you believe she's in danger. Why?
Without providing too much detail, we believe she's in danger because of the lifestyle that she's living in. According to the witness statements, and that information we cannot disclose at this time, we do believe that she is involved in a transient lifestyle, that she was brought to North Carolina possibly against her will, and it is possible that she's been removed from the state of North Carolina against her will.
Do you all think that the mother, initially you said it's reported that she could be deceased, do you still think that April Morrison is alive?
It's very possible that she's no longer with us. We only have one witness who believes that she's still alive at this time.
Who reported her missing?
It was 2 individuals that were actually providing assistance to her. She was brought to North Carolina about a month ago, sometime either in late December or early January, where she was residing in various motels and hotels when she was pregnant. She was left here by an individual that brought her here, subsequently came into contact with additional males, and after she gave birth to her baby, supposedly the baby was then transported away from her, and she was taken out of our state. The 2 individuals that made the report were individuals that had made contact with her in passing and were trying to help her financially and also help with the baby.
Do you believe this is a human trafficking case at this point?
We cannot disclose that at this time.
Do you think it's connected to like a child theft ring, possibly?
Cannot say that at this time. We can say that April Morrison is definitely involved in a transient lifestyle. We do believe, once again, that she was brought to the state against her will, possibly having been removed from the state against her will.
Why wasn't the Amber Alert issued sooner?
The Amber Alert this report was received last night by the 2 witnesses. We worked this case into the very early morning hours of this day. The Amber Alert could not be issued just of yet because we did not have a confirmation of this child's information, the name, the approximate age, the date of birth. We were able to confirm that within this last hour, so we are working on the Amber Alert as we speak and making sure that it's entered and released nationally.
How old is the mother?
The mother is approximately in her mid-20s to late 20s. We have 1 witness that says that she could possibly even be up to 32 years of age.
Do you know where the mother, you said that she was staying at hotels in Richmond and Scotland County, do you know what hotels she was?
No, my understanding is that she moved from hotel to motel wherever she could possibly find an individual that would pay for a room for her.
It's obvious obviously a lot that you don't know. What are some of the challenges with this type of investigation?
The challenges right now, the largest one that we're seeking to clarify is her true identity. Obviously, she is a Hispanic female that we suspect is Puerto Rican descent. And so we obviously suspect that April Morrison is probably not her name unless she's been married. So our goal is to not only obtain a positive image of her, hopefully through the use of surveillance, cameras or footage that we're able to obtain from a variety of hotels or motels, and if not, at a minimum, through the use of our witnesses who have had contact with her, develop a positive sketch that can accurately depict what she looked like for the general public.
What additional resources are you all using in this investigation?
As far as law enforcement agencies, that would be the assistance of local agencies such as Cumberland County Sheriff's Office, Fayetteville Police Department, as well as the Federal Bureau of Investigation, Richmond County Sheriff's Office, Rockingham Police Department, our own resources. The National Center of Missing and Exploited Children are sending resources as we speak. I just made contact with one of their providers, and they're going to start having resources en route to us now.
Are deputies and detectives doing an active search right now?
What is actually occurring right now is knock and talk type canvases. We are targeting hotels, motels, long-term living situations. That is actually already underway and has been all day since last night at about 11:30 p.m. That process began.
Would you say that this is a very complicated investigation because you've got Cumberland, Richmond, and Scotland County involved?
I wouldn't state that this is necessarily a complex investigation. It's complex at this time only because we don't know the mother's true identity. That's what we're seeking to clarify. Once we can gain her true positive identity, this case will become a lot easier as far as conducting a proper search and being able to get the correct information out to the general public by use of media.
Did you say you had the name of the baby?
The baby's suspected alias, according to the last statements of the mother, the last time she made contact with actually some of our witnesses, the mother stated that she named her child Lee Ann Morrison. That's Leean Morrison.
So it's a little girl.
It is. It is a female infant child, approximately 2 weeks of old.
Where did that picture come from?
The picture was provided by the witnesses. That was an image of the child that was taken on Sunday, this past Sunday, and actually received by my witnesses involved in the case, who were also the reporting parties.
How thankful are you that these witnesses came forward?
I'm incredibly thankful. Obviously, we're facing difficult times right now. There's a lot of issues going on right now with transient lifestyles, persons being held against their will. There's a lot of suspected cases across the state of North Carolina that involve children in that type of realm. So we are very thankful that they came forward quickly, expediently, as soon as they could confirm any reasonable suspicion that this mother was no longer with their children or her child. They came forth and made a report to law enforcement.
What can you tell us about the witnesses? Are they friends, family?
The witnesses are neither friends, well, they're acquaintances. So they encountered the mother at some point in the last month in Rockingham, and were providing some residency to her in Laurinburg, North Carolina. Obviously, she was displaced. She didn't have a permanent address. So they were providing financial and residential support to her and allowing them to stay, providing food, providing the resources, because she was third trimester pregnant at that time. And so they were more acquainted with her and obviously developed a rapport and a friendship with her.
What was the first clue to the two witnesses that something wasn't right?
The statements provided, there was speculation provided by third-party witnesses, which we're not willing to get too much into, but those witnesses basically contacted my reporting parties at some point and stated that the mother, to their knowledge, actually had made it back to New Jersey and possibly was deceased. And so my witnesses at that point began frantically asking and inquiring about where the child was at that time, at which time a lot of different conflicting stories were presented. They became incredibly uncomfortable, and they provided that information to us.
Are FBI or SBI involved in this?
They are. So as I stated about additional resources, the FBI was contacted within an hour of the report being made, and they are currently assisting us in the resources that they're providing to us. Do you have any more questions?
Thank you.
I have a question. I work for Telemundo. Is someone who speaks Spanish for the Hispanic audience to help you guys in this case? Do you speak Spanish or someone?
Un poquito.
Un poquito? Can you just say at least a sentence or something in Spanish about why you guys are looking for her and her daughter? ¿Por qué están buscándola?
I'm not that fluent, so I mean I'm fluent enough to conduct. Yeah. So I obviously can conduct basic interviews in Spanish, but my family's actually from Spain, so I speak a Spaniard dialect. I don't actually speak, so I don't understand a lot of slang. So when I'm conducting interviews of Latin American persons, it's often very difficult for me at that point. And it's been a few years.
Sentence that you think it might be, helpful for.
Now you're putting me on the spot. I haven't spoken Spanish in years. Oh my goodness. No, respectfully, you're putting me on the spot. I actually transitioned to Russian years ago, so I've been speaking Russian for several years. So that I could do. Yeah.
Did the witnesses give you an indication why the mother would left the baby behind and returned to New Jersey?
We're not willing to disclose that at this time. Yeah.
Can you just say your last name? That's all.
So
So that we can get it correct.
it is Sadovnikov. That is S as in Sam, A, D as in David, O, V as in Victor, N as in Nancy, I, K, O, V as in Victor. Good? Okay, so that'll conclude our press release at this time. So what we'll do, obviously the sketch is underway, guys. We're working diligently to have that provided to you guys. As soon as we can get a positive sketch of this female, hopefully we can even develop some footage of her. I will be in touch, and we're going to start transitioning away from communicating with me directly so I can focus on investigative measures and not this. So what we'll do is obviously the National Center of Missing and Exploited Children, they're going to be allocating a point of contact very shortly and releasing that information that all of you guys can collectively make contact with at that point and receive all of the updates and the press releases and images and things of that nature so that I can focus on the investigation from here on out. Okay? Thank you, guys.
Thank